Welcome to the GB Orchards Checkpoint Leader Brief. My name is Wayne Drinkwater and I am the Event Director at GB Orchards, and today we're just going to cover some of the key points that you may need to know when you're joining the event team as a Checkpoint Leader. The Checkpoint Leader proactively manages their dedicated Checkpoint event team to provide support for runners as a team as best as they can, monitoring runners' welfare, communicating important information with Race HQ, the race directors and the medical team. As a Checkpoint Leader, you will lead your team in their duties, offering support and guidance when needed. We expect you to discuss the Checkpoint duties with the rest of your team and decide between yourselves who is best suited to carry out each duty. Typically, the Checkpoint team should consist of at least 6 people. 1 Checkpoint Leader, you. 2 timekeepers, 1 logging runners into the checkpoint and 1 logging runners out of the checkpoint. 2 people manning the food and drink station and 1 photographer. When the checkpoint has more than 6 event team members, you are urged to proactively utilise the extra personnel to boost duties. More event team members allocated to fill water bottles and serve food during busy periods. Please bear in mind rest periods for your team and also explain that duty may dictate rest. For example, during our 4-day flagship event, the Race Across Scotland, personnel may be rotated so that they get more regular rest. On long checkpoint stints, you are advised to appoint a deputy leader to assist. You will complete an event team register to show which member of the team is allocated each duty. This register will then be returned to Race HQ at the end of the shift. On some checkpoints, you might need 2 people checking in runners, so one shouting out the number and the other making a note. As a Checkpoint Leader, you will be our point of contact for Race HQ, and all communications from the checkpoint should be just through yourself. At Race HQ, we will appoint a race administrator for each event whose duty is to keep a precise, detailed timeline of the event. So it's vital that everything, no matter how trivial, is reported to Race HQ straight away. The only instances where Race HQ and the race administrator will not be your first point of contact are ones which will involve the emergency services, that being the police, fire or medical, where these must be contacted first by calling 999 if there is a risk to life or limb. However, once you have contacted the emergency services, the race administrator and Race HQ must be informed straight away. It's important to note here that we must try and deal with minor incidents ourselves, except where there is a risk to life or limb. Event team logging in. The logging in event team member is to log all runners as they reach the checkpoint. Forms will be provided for this, and a logging in event team member must note the race number of the runner and the time of their arrival next to their position in the race. The logging out event team member is required to log out all runners as they leave the checkpoint. Forms will be provided for this, and a logging out event team member must confirm the time and the position as they leave the checkpoint. It's at this point that the checkpoint leader should be informed if there is a DNF during the race, a runner that has retired from the race. We will then require the bib number of the runner and the tracker to be removed, and you'll make a note on the paperwork. Checkpoint cutoff. For each checkpoint we have a cutoff time. If a runner gets into a checkpoint before that time, they are still in the race. If they're after that time, then they're out of the event. So they have to be checked in before the cutoff. Technically, every checkpoint has 20 minutes before the runner has to leave. Now, the benefit of that from our side of things is that we can monitor a runner, make sure that they're fit to continue. As in, if they've got any injuries, any complaints, we can just make sure that they're okay. And equally, on the runner side of things, they've got a little bit more time to get the bottles topped up, the food stocked up, have some snacks, anything like that, and have a sit down if they need to adjust their shoes, whatever it be. So it works both ways. We can monitor them and they can get ready to go again. If they're towards the back end of the race, maybe just have a little chat with them and assess how they're feeling. GB Orchards checkpoint staff. The checkpoint event team members are required to ensure that the runners have had the opportunity to have some food and refreshments before leaving the checkpoint. Talk to the runners to see if they're okay. Some may have food allergies or special dietary requirements. Keep a selection of food ready on the table, along with jugs of water, juice, any nutrition and cola, just so that runners can help themselves and also we can help them top up. Offer to fill up bottles, as removing lids and water bottle tops can prove difficult with cold fingers. Keep the checkpoint station as tidy as possible and put extra boxes of food and water under the table or leave them in the car until they're needed. We are operating a cupless, plastic-free event. The runners are aware of this. They've been informed to provide their own cups, so unfortunately if a runner does not have anything to drink out of, explain this as best as you can and ask them to use their bottle. As the race gets underway, circumstances will sometimes crop up and more points will need to be added to, which is why it's important to document everything. There is a feedback form within each checkpoint pack that is to be completed by the checkpoint leader throughout the event. This feedback form will help us to improve our future events. All checkpoint leaders will be invited to join a Facebook Messenger page for the relevant event. This will be set up well in advance of the event and is aimed at helping you, a checkpoint leader, to get to know other members of the checkpoint leader team and Race HQ. We will post information such as checkpoint teams, checkpoint locations, checkpoint open and closing times, and any other information we think that will be of use to you so you can familiarise yourself prior to the event. But ultimately, you'll also receive all of this in email well prior to the event anyway. Our dedicated mountain teams will be identifiable during our mountain races with high-vis vests, as well as having walkie-talkies and satellite phones so that they can communicate with one another. You can add photos from the events directly onto our GB Ultras community Facebook group page. Please be aware of any sensitive photos of the runner and also aware of any children for safeguarding reasons. If possible, the checkpoint leaders are requested to collect the checkpoint supplies from Race HQ either at registration or the day before the race. If this is not possible for any reason, please contact us and we will arrange to have your supplies shipped to the checkpoint and then collected at the end of your shift. Please familiarise yourself with the information that we have sent over via email prior to the event. Checkpoint leaders are required to know their checkpoint location prior to the event. If you're unsure, please ask and we will supply you a map, or what 3 words, or drop you a pin on Google Maps. But all of this information will be provided prior to the event. Checkpoint personnel are required to be in position, set up, ready for the first runner at least 15 minutes ahead of the estimated arrival, and stay in position until the sweeper, tail runner, has gone through unless instructed otherwise. Plus, like I said, with the cut-offs, wait that extra 20 minutes after the cut-off if a runner wants to stay for that allocation of time. Checkpoint leaders, please use the time prior to the runner's first arriving at the checkpoint to ensure your team are happy with their duties and that everyone has been briefed during the checkpoint shift. The checkpoint leader is required to inform Race HQ by using a messenger group of any of the following, and don't forget to include times of any instance. Number 1, time and clarification that the checkpoint is open and ready for the runners. Number 2, time of departure and race number of the first male runner through. Number 3, time of departure and race number of the first female runner through. Number 4, time of departure and race number of the last runner through. Number 5, time of departure of the sweeper. Number 6, time and clarification that the checkpoint is now closed. All runners and sweepers are through. Checkpoint has been packed away and all retirees are safe and on their way home. Number 7, any medical instances requiring first aid so that the runner can be monitored by the event team to see if symptoms deteriorate throughout the race. Number 8, the time and race number of anyone retiring from the race and whether they have their own transport. Number 9, disqualifications. Hopefully there won't be any. Number 10, checkpoint incidents. Problems with support crews, problems with non-race members, problems with the event team members, problems with race participants. Checkpoint leaders are also required to debrief their team at the end of the shift. For those who have not received an event team tech tee, please make a note of their name, contact details and shirt size and we will get one sent out. Please welcome them back to future events as a valued event team member and also future checkpoint leaders. Please ask your team for feedback, both good and bad. We won't be offended as we see all feedback is good as it helps us grow and makes our events even better. Buildings used as checkpoints like town halls, community centres or village halls. Where buildings are used as checkpoints, have a walk around with the caretaker when you collect the keys. Take a contact number for the caretaker in case of any problems and familiarise yourself with emergency exits and firefighting equipment. Take photos of the hall so that once your shift is over, you can return the hall back to its original state. Locate where the meters are and take a photo of all readings, water, gas, electricity, before and after the shift, and pass these on to Race HQ at the end of the shift. Check toilets regularly, and if they're in a poor state, report to Race HQ immediately. Dirty running shoes must be removed before entering checkpoints on certain events. If areas are required for sleeping, we will provide a plan to help you to organise your checkpoint. Once your checkpoint is closed, please tidy the venue and return the hall to its original state. Invite the caretaker back to ensure they are happy. Thank them for the use of the hall and ask if they will be available for next year's event. Support crews. Support crews should have been briefed by their runners before the event itself, but we appreciate sometimes this won't be the case. Runners will have been advised on where support crews are not allowed. This will be at checkpoints we simply don't have the room to accommodate them safely or there's insufficient parking. If support crews arrive at a checkpoint where they are not allowed, the checkpoint leader is asked to politely remind them that they are not allowed at the checkpoint and must move along. Please advise the support crew that they may be able to find suitable parking further away from the checkpoint so it doesn't interfere with the checkpoint location safety. Support crews are responsible for their runner and their runner only. Any attempt by support crews to interfere with the running of the checkpoint is to be challenged immediately and stopped. Any resistance in the slightest and they are to be ejected from the checkpoint and reported to Race HQ. Do not let support crews into checkpoints that are off limits to them. Where they are permitted, support crews are asked to report to a checkpoint leader on arrival if they want to gain access into a checkpoint. There may be some limitations, but use your discretion. The checkpoints and village halls are not a hotel or social gathering. We don't have room for mum, dad, wife, 2 kids and a dog and all the friends. Please use discretion on numbers. Be assertive and ask them to leave during busy periods and sleep hours to make room for the runners. There may be limitations in terms of how many people are permitted into the checkpoint. Crewed runners are the responsibility of their support crew. They are crewing a runner, so it's up to them to make sure that their runner is fed and watered. They are entitled to the same food and water as all the other runners, but their support crew must do the fetching and carrying for them. The support crew are responsible for making sure that if a runner makes a mess, they clean it up, or they will be reported to Race HQ and excluded from future checkpoints and possibly risk having their runner disqualified from the event. Do not let anyone park in front of the entrance or exit to a checkpoint. This area needs to be kept clear for medical services and for the event team access and egress. Talk to the runners and check they are well. Ask them if they are having an enjoyable race and if there's anything that you can do to help. Assess the runners when they come into your checkpoint, see if they're okay. We have a duty of care to not let our runners continue if they're feeling very unwell. If a runner wishes to retire from a race to DNF, they must do so at a checkpoint. When this is the case, ask the runner if they are okay and if they have transport. Collect their bib number, collect their race tracker, switch it off, and store it in a safe place to be returned to Race HQ. Contact Race HQ so they can notify all the other checkpoints of this. Utilise the medical team when needed. If a runner wishes to continue against the advice of the medical team, report to Race HQ straight away and don't let the runner leave until the medical team has spoken to the race director. The medical team call the shot. So if they state that the person should not continue, cannot continue, then that is the decision of the race director. Document any first aid supplies that have been used at checkpoints so it can be replaced. All incidents have to be documented and reported. All damages to the checkpoint equipment must be documented and reported too. Keep a clean and tidy checkpoint. Runners, support crews, spectators must put all of their rubbish in the bins provided. Don't be frightened to remind them of this if need be. Runners must return all plates and cutlery to the checkpoint staff for washing and tidying away. Show compassion to the runners who may be injured and may need assistance. Check the toilets regularly. Be aware of any dwellings, churches, and show consideration with noise levels. Be aware of any hazards and advise the Race HQ, your checkpoint team, runners, support crews, and event team members if this is the case. We also don't tolerate any forms of abuse or swearing to our event team. If this happens, please report it straight away to Race HQ. Wherever possible, please have your event team t-shirt on view. We want our checkpoints at GB Ultras to look professional and we would like our checkpoint team to wear the official event attire and be consistent. Always smile and be happy and enthusiastic. All documentation should be handed back to the GB Ultras Race HQ at the end of the event, along with any GB Ultras equipment. Please ensure all event equipment is properly dismantled and put back in the same condition, banners folded, flags put back in the bags as it was given to the team, and it's important for the equipment to be looked after throughout the event. Thanks for watching the GB Ultras Checkpoint Leader Brief. If you have any questions, feel free to email the team at events@gbultras.com. All the information that we provided in this video is going to be emailed over to you anyway with specific location information. So if you do have any questions, it might just be within that. Thanks so much for helping at the GB Ultras event, and we look forward to working with you and keeping everyone safe during the event.